far. They pushed me too far. I left my home, stole my neighbor's car. Spree, went on a killing spree. I got pissed off by what I saw on TV. We got the guns, we hate the fame. We're shooting up America. Got a black spot on my brain. We're shooting up America. Steve, when you went and sung your song, those three judges done you wrong. Made you look a disgrace. Made you look a disgrace. Steve, we're gonna put things right. Not gonna take their shite. Shoot them all in the face. Shoot them all in the face. Michael full of spewing hate. He broadcast to America. We left him in a bloody state. We shot him in America. A talent show of freaks and fools. They watch it in America. The audience are loud and cruel. They watch it in America. We drove across America. Killed some dumb fucks in America. Laid the smack down in America. 'Cause we're shooting up America today. 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 Between you and me, I've got advanced VD. My urine stings. My urine stings today. I'm in pain. Gone insane. From the pain. Oh my God, I've gone blind. What the? Where's the edge of the stage? Oh!
Hello and welcome to Blackdog episode 150.
Titled, Why the Fuck Are You Still Listening?
Why? God.
Oh, we did that joke last week.
Yeah.
Hello. Woo! Celebrate good time. Come on. It's a celebration.
Frodo.
Bilbo.
Look at my big fire wand.
I like big butts.
And I
cannot lie. You other brothers can't deny that when a girl walks in with an itty-bitty waist and a round thing in your face, you get sprung.
See? Even got Ian McKellen here.
Yes.
There you go.
Bye, Ian.
No, see you later,
Take your
Ian.
Jaffa
Yeah,
cakes.
you're
There you
gone.
go.
Off you go. Yeah, don't let don't close the door too loud. Right, okay. So anyway, welcome to episode 150 of the Black Dog Podcast. My name's Lee.
And I'm Darren.
And this week we are going to be doing some chat, some news, some, Jim Moon's Profanisaurus, a one-sentence review. Lee's one-sentence
Oh,
review.
yes. At some point.
We got one sent in.
Oh.
So clearly it's lasted longer than Script Sandwich.
Yay!
And then we go on to our Mystery Monocle. First Mystery Monocle ever.
Ever.
And it's,
EVAH.
yeah.
Ever.
Exclamation mark, number one, exclamation mark.
Wobble your head while you do it as well. Yeah, ever.
And ever. And totes emotion. And yes.
Oh, stop it.
Unclean,
must scrub skin now.
Unclean. And then we are going to be doing Mystery Monocle, which is God Bless America, Bobcat Goldthwaite's dark vision of the world, basically.
Or how Darren is going to be when he gets to the age of 50.
Yeah, Darren's future once he becomes redundant.
Yes, indeed.
Darren's redundancy plans. Anyway, so, Darren, how's your week been?
It's been a fairly sort of flat week, really. Not very much going on.
No.
Although this weekend, we did go out to go out and partay in a bar in London for somebody that somebody knows, or Laura knows.
Okay.
It was a friend of theirs' birthday and invited us all out, so we went and had a good time. And yet another brush with greatness occurred, but this time it was Laura. You see, she came out of the bar, came out to have a smoke with all her friends, and who should just be getting into a car across the road because it's the stage door of the theatre, but Helen Mirren.
Helen Mirren.
So
she was near the Argyle Theatre in Shaftesbury Avenue.
Indeed, that's right. There's a bar just behind that.
Yes. A well-known.
Yes, it's a well-known bar where men who like men, meet up, and talk about
the
men
village
liking
people.
Things. Yes.
So
we were there, but
loudly.
anyway, Laura waved at Helen Mirren, and Helen Mirren smiled and waved back.
Well, that's very kind of her, isn't it?
It was like.
Very
Laura was
polite.
like, that's it, I can die now.
That's it.
All done.
There you go.
That's me, finished.
So we've gone from Mel Smith moments of the week to I casually saw someone across the street and nodded
But
at
they
them.
reacted. See, there was me with Chris Morris last week where he passed me on the escalator, right? So I mean, within a foot of him, okay? And then there's Laura actually getting a reaction from Sir Helen Mirren. Sir Helen Mirren, yes.
Something we don't know.
I don't know, yes. Knighted and shit, I don't know. What, is she a Dame Helen Mirren there, is she?
Yeah.
That's it,
It would be Dame.
I call them all Sir, whether they're male or female. I'm an equal opportunities royalist, yes.
Twat.
But so there we go.
Right.
Brush with greatness.
Lovely.
And apart from that, it's been pretty dead, really.
Okay.
Haven't done much. I haven't had much money to do anything with.
No. Okay. Well, that's fair enough. Yeah, surprisingly, I haven't got much to talk about either, given the fact that, basically, I'm not working. Actually, I say that. I am actually, technically speaking, working. I'm supposed to be at work, but I'm only at work until Thursday. So by the time everyone listens to this, chances are I probably will not be at work anymore. So, yeah, I've just been sitting there cleaning off shit off my hard drive so that I can't be incriminated at a future date when someone finds something dodgy on the computer.
So you've been practising your lines for your new form of employment then?
What?
Big issue, sir? Big issue?
Oh, would you like fries
Would
with
you
that?
like fries with
Would you
that?
like fries with that? I've spent...
Supersized?
Yeah, I took today off because, hey, what they're going to do, fire me, and sort of did a bit of sort of wandering around the house, and then I think I've seen how things are going to go, because basically I've managed in less than 7 hours of practice retirement, or practice redundancy, shall we say, to basically drive Carol insane. So
you have become your dad.
I have. It's amazing. I've managed to send her around the twist in less than 24 hours. I said, you got 6 more weeks of this, and she's like, oh fuck. I won't go into too many details, but essentially there was a typo on a bank statement, which then, because I'm sitting there twiddling my thumbs, went, right, I'm going to go up there, I'm going to sort it out. And I went up to the bank.
You put on your big coat and that was it.
I did. I put on my big coat, I put on my cheese cutter and me woolly sheepskins, and off I went. And I went up to Bromley.
Did you have a hand? A ring on every finger.
Oh, absolutely.
Sovereigns.
Yeah, all sovereigns. Yeah, and a roll up Woodbine in the corner of my mouth. And I went up to the bank. And I went, yep, see this bank statement? It says here this money's been coming out for like nearly 3 years. And this is person, I don't know this person at all. In fact, this person looks like the initials of my mum. And my mum doesn't have an account with this, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, goes on. So the lady's sort of like, oh, well, we'll aim to get the money back. We'll aim to claim it all back. Because obviously if this is a statement, if there's been some kind of, impropriety and someone's set up a direct debit in your account and sending money off, we can claim it back. And I'm like, right, okay, fair enough, good. Let's get that sorted then. So they cancel the direct debit. They start sort of making procedures to take the money out. Then I phone up Carol and I go, there you go, first day out of work, I've just sorted out the dodgy direct debit. And she went, what dodgy direct debit? I went, the one that says my mum's name on it. And she went, no, where's it going? And I told her, and she went, no, that's the bill that we have, that's the direct debit we have to go to the tax account so that when I have to pay my tax, the money's there. And I'm like, oh. And she went, what have you done? I said, I've managed to cancel it and get legal proceedings to claim the money back. She's like, you fucking what? So then, then I had so then I had to go back into the bank and then go, I have made a terrible error. Can you please reinstate all the details that I said were previously wrong? See, apparently what happened was that because basically we were putting money off to one side for the tax bill. Yep. Basically Carol had set this thing up and it was like, yeah, fine, and someone had actually instead of putting CJ Metcalf, which is Carol's initials, to put J Metcalf, which is my mum's initials. Oh. So because they didn't put C on the front, I thought there was something dodgy going on. Yeah. So now apparently, like, the money that was supposed to be going in is coming back, and the direct debits had to be set up all over again. So yeah, I've managed to cause all sorts of
Jesus H. Christ.
It's only 24 hours.
What wonders will you have for us next week, I wonder?
Well, actually, yeah, and then I tried to... I've made a discordant doorbell.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, my DIY action of the day was, all right, okay, fine, now we've got a doorbell. We've got to make the doorbell so I can hear what's going on. I've set up a doorbell. I put in a wireless doorbell, and then it turns out that all the different wireless doorbell ringers are all out of tune, and they're all within like 2 feet of each other. So now it sounds like the siren from Silent Hill. It goes, ding dong.
I thought it was like a sort of like, one of those dream sequences they're having like Nightmare on Elm Street, and that everything's just slightly off key.
Going slightly too slow for its own good.
A bit like the chimes at the outside the Swiss Centre in Leicester Square used to be like.
Yeah, it is. You just need some fog and someone down the end of the corridor going, 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you.
A few babies on fucking spikes or something.
Yeah, that's right. A few dead-eyed dolls hanging off the ceiling. That's right. Sort of thing, yeah. So I've managed to fuck up the doorbell, and I've fucked up a direct debit, which could possibly have an impact on her tax and possibly screw up Carol's bank account.
You need something to do.
Yeah, so then I went and bought BioShock, and I haven't even opened it.
No, because it's an 18. Not the sort of game you play when there's kids around, is there?
No, so that's So that's been my week.
Wonderful.
Yay! Yeah. Anything else?
No.
Oh, no, hold on. No, I got one other thing. We saw on the Facebook group, latest member on the Facebook group, Rebecca Denton.
Yes.
She joined. And she's
hello, Rebecca.
Yeah, hello. If she's even listening. Yeah, I guess she is. She's doing a thing with... oh, God, what's that guy's name? Joe... Is it Joe Ahern?
Dave.
No, Joe Ahern, the comedian with the big beard.
Oh, right.
And brown suit. I can't... Anyway, they're doing a thing called Home Movies. Anyway, she's been putting up all these promotional posters for different things, like comedy things. And I took part in that. and I won 2 free cinema tickets.
Woot!
Woot! So I'm going to go and see something twice. Yay! Because Carol's not going with me.
No, she's just going to boot you out the ass with those tickets in hand. Give you some lunch money.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Go!
Yes. So, yeah, that's the only other thing. So, should we do some news?
Let's do some news.
Let's do some news.
Here is the news. We've got some news. Fucking big news. Here comes the news.
Right, hello, and welcome back to the news. And so we'll start off with Wolverine. Now, obviously, Wolverine, I didn't like the last one. So I have zero to no interest to fuck all interest of the next one. However, people are interested, so it's news. And the director went and uploaded a Vine of the trailer, which has taken teasing teasers to teaser trailers one step beyond. Because now there is 6 whole seconds, ladies and gentlemen. Count them, 6 whole seconds of a teaser trailer online.
Do you know what this reminds me of? Have you seen that exhibit, the exhibit meme?
Yes.
It's like, yo, dude, we heard you like teaser trailers, so we made a teaser trailer of your teaser trailer.
So you can teaser trailer your teaser trailer, yeah. I mean, it's fucking ridiculous. And so
He's getting beyond the joke now.
Well, it's 6 seconds. It doesn't even have any audio because it's a bloody Vine. And it's like, right, okay. And the big shock, apparently, is that Jean Grey's face flash appears in it for about, 3.5 frames.
Well, what do you know? Let's see now. Wolverine's an X-Man. It's an X-Men film. You know, Jean Grey, she's part of the X-Men as well. So, really, no big surprise there that, she may be making an appearance in it. Because, well, she's an X-Man.
What, was she? I thought she was a woman.
No, look at the Adam's apple. They didn't remove that.
Earwigs, ladies and gentlemen, try the veal.
Yeah,
tip your
that's
waitress.
no Adam's apple. She's just swallowed Charles Xavier.
Yeah. Is that Charles Xavier in your pocket, or are you just pleased to see me?
Charles Xavier. Let's pronounce that properly, shall we? Charles Xavier, not Charles X Xavier. It hasn't got 2 X's at the front, or X-Xavier. Okay, it's not like that, or it hasn't got the word egg at the front like that. No, it's Xavier. Okay.
Yes. Anyway,
fucking stupid Charles X Xavier. Fuck off.
Well, while we're at it,
you fucking bag grammar.
Oh, God, okay, he's gone off on one. Grammar Nazi would like to just let you know. No, but basically, oh God, there's some possible plot specifics for Independence Day sequel. Yeah. Apparently, here we go. According to Entertainment Weekly, neither home planet, there will be no sort of home planter murder nor presidential brain sickness will feature in Independence Day 2. However, from Roland Emmerich himself, he says, humans knew that one day the aliens would come back. They know that one day, the one way you can really travel in space is through wormholes. So for the aliens, it could take 2 or 3 weeks, but for us, it could take 20 to 25 years. It's a changed world, though, like a parallel history. Humans have harnessed all this alien technology. We don't know how to duplicate it because it's organically grown. All we know is how to make anti-gravity devices and put it on a human aeroplane. So, it's going to be some of the same characters, some new younger characters, and sons taking over. And it's going to be basically alien response teams sent after the aliens after the first film. There you go. No word on whether or not Norton antivirus has been installed on the alien spaceship yet. But
have they improved their firewall?
So, yeah. So, basically, we're going to have Will Smith's son as a fighter pilot, and the dog's litter as a crack team of furry intergalactic assassins. Yeah. So, there you go. Are you...
I'm strangely unimpressed by all this.
A shocker. So moving on to more unimpressed news. Apparently, Batroc the Leaper, one of the earliest of shitty superheroes that ever featured on the Blackdog podcast, is now appearing in Captain America Winter Soldier.
So obviously it's because of that appearance on the Blackdog that he's got a part in the Winter Soldier, and why the fuck is he in it?
Yes. But I mean, I think it's because basically, as I think I said way back when, Captain America's got some really shitty fucking villains.
Oh, yeah.
You remember Death Throes, the fucking evil jugglers?
Yeah.
And then there was the Tumbler, who was a guy who could just sort of roll around a bit.
So we're missing the trick here. I mean, what about things like what's his name, Baron Zemo? What about MODOK? How about these for villains in it? That would be quite cool to have those in there. But nothing like that. Of course, we have to have
Batroc the Leaper. Now, for those of you who don't remember Batroc the Leaper, he was one of our early shitty superheroes, as I said, and he was basically a French mercenary whose powers were that he was able to leap on people and use his immense...
Bitten by a radioactive frog.
Well, he's French, of course. That's going to be there, isn't it? And he used to have this terrible Terry Thomas moustache, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, as I said, it's a muscle-bound Jimmy Hill.
Yeah.
He's got the goatee as well.
Yeah, apparently he had a French style of kickboxing which basically revolved around he's basically just using his legs and jumping on people.
Right.
Batroc the Leaper. There you go. Shitty Superheroes returns just long enough to actually feature in the news.
It's a big news, shitty superhero. Fucking hellfire.
So, looking forward to Winter Soldier now, or is that...
Well, as long as this Batroc the Leaper is only like in it for 5 minutes, maybe the opening section where bloody Captain America is pushing his face into concrete or something like that, doing away with him.
Zutalos!
Exactly.
There you
go. Like
go.
that. There you go.
Now Odile Thomas is writing us a very strongly worded letter for French racism. There you go. Cool. Okay, right. Moving on. What else was there? There was one other thing I was going to say. Oh, bloody hell. Oh, there's Birdemic 2 trailer out.
What?
Forget the Star Trek trailers, forget the Iron Man teasers.
The Birdemic 2 is the shit. Sorry, I'll put one too many words in there. Sorry, yeah, Birdemic 2 is shit.
Yeah. Apparently, there's never been a movie made from this perspective before. That's the only teaser they're putting out there. Hopefully, it's not going to be from the bird's perspective.
Of course it's going to be from the bird's fucking perspective.
Oh, well, let's hope. But yes, there's
you know what they say? You know what birds have, don't you? Custard.
What?
I don't know. I just thought I'd throw that in there.
What are you on about? Yeah, moving on. Beyond that, there's not a lot of news, as you can tell by the by the shit amount of shit that we got. There's the rumor resurfacing that Peter Jackson wants to make a Doctor Who episode out of tinfoil and paper mache. Yeah. No, actually, he just mentioned that he wanted to make one and he would be open to making one once he got the chance.
For free as well.
For free. Oh no, actually the payment was 1 Dalek, which seems a bit greedy when apparently he's already got 2.
Has he?
Yeah.
Maybe he wants a 3rd one.
Well, makes a set, I guess.
Yeah.
When asked about it, when approached by it, someone said to Stephen Moffat about the chance of getting, Peter Jackson. I think his exact reaction was "fuck off," because I don't think he actually believes that's ever going to happen. Which is fair enough because, let's be honest, Peter Jackson's got to do Tintin.
He's also got to do the other Hobbits.
The other 3 Hobbit movies.
Yep.
So, yeah, he's pretty much out of action for about somewhere between 3 to 5 years. So, yeah, I think it's a little unlikely personally, but there you go. But people love to dream.
Oh, certainly do, yeah.
What do you think of Peter Jackson Doctor Who would look
I
like?
don't know. I'm hoping it will be a brain dead type Doctor Who episode. Just go back to basics.
Like all of them. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
Oh,
sorry.
I was going to say, let's face it can't be any worse than what's out there at the moment.
Don't poke the bear.
I don't give a shit. I'm being honest with my fucking opinion. As much as I love Doctor Who, I know it's got flaws, and anybody out there who doesn't see that, you're fucking fooling yourself. Anyway.
Okay. Well,
Never been satisfied with a Christmas special.
We've we managed to I alienate,
Truth hurts. Life's hard. Buy a crash helmet.
Nice. Yeah, right. Okay.
Moving on.
Well, that's about it, really.
Done that. See, I've put the world to rights.
You put the world to rights.
Shut up. Your opinion means nothing.
Your opinion means fuck all with the grand scheme of things. Okay, well, while moving my microphone, oh shit, that was supposed to happen all nice and quietly. Right. Well, that's the end of the news.
No. We were going to discuss because we see the fact that there is a new Wonder Woman porn parody coming out.
Yes, of course. Being the arbiters of taste and decency that we are, we had to take note of that. It's interesting. Yeah, I can't remember who's doing it. Axel, and I was going to say Axel Foley, but that's bloody. But anyway, I don't know. And this guy does lots of porn parodies.
He does, and it's the fact that the costumes in the porn parodies actually look better than the Hollywood originals that go out there as well. Like the Batman costume in the porn Batman actually looks better than the one they have in the Dark Knight. It actually looks closer to the original.
It looks more like the one from Arkham City, actually.
Exactly.
Shall we just clarify to save ourselves some blushes whether or not you've actually seen this or not?
I have seen the picture of it.
No, I'm talking about the actual film.
The actual film? No, I haven't seen the actual film. Not for want of trying. But it's fucking Wonder Woman, dude.
Yeah, but then you always get blind and fall off a chair.
Exactly. Yes.
No, the Wonder Woman one isn't done yet.
Isn't it?
No.
Anyway, moving on swiftly.
But
no, the costumes in these seem to look a lot better. I mean, if you see also the porn parody pictures from that of the Avengers, they've actually got the proper costumes in that as well. Like Hawkeye's got the proper sort of like purple and blue outfit on that he has. And it's just like really quite close to the originals.
It's kind of sad that basically the porn industry has made a successful Justice League, Batman, and Wonder Woman movie.
Yeah, and where are those from DC?
And DC hasn't managed yet. And they managed to successfully do Green Lantern as well. Pardon the pun.
Have they?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's not as a porn parody, but as a part of the Justice League.
Oh, of course, yes.
So there you go.
Oh, yeah. My gosh.
So it's quite shocking to
Maybe
realise...
we should check out those films for sort of like, authenticity and see how close they are to the comic book original.
Yes, we shall be hosting Blackdog After Dark with the Masturbator Monocle.
That's what they mean by Superman's ring of kryptonite.
Green...
Lex Luthor's ring of kryptonite.
Green Lantern's willpower ring.
There you are.
Ring of fear. Anyway... Yeah. Anyway,
it's gone yellow.
I put it on the Facebook group. Anyway, it was worth a look because I tell you what, the Wonder Woman picture looks like one of those Adam Hughes ones that he does lots of, and it's amazingly well done.
It is, yeah.
Despite whatever origin.
Yeah, forgetting the fact that they are sort of like porn movies, the actual the artistry used, the authenticity used in the costumes is amazing. It's, especially that picture of Batman, as you say, it looks more like the Arkham City Batman.
Yeah.
It's quite funny, actually, when they mentioned this on AICN, they talked about the fact that it's like there's a Wonder Woman porn movie coming out. And these two blokes are arguing over one of them spelt something wrong in their last post. And somebody actually put something, I think it's quite cute that we're, here it is, a porn movie about Wonder Woman, and you guys are scrabbling over a word that somebody spelt wrong.
Yeah. Well, that's a bit just going off on a tangent. That's a bit like, there's that YouTube video of an eagle coming down and grabbing a rabbit.
Oh, yeah.
And then there's a lion coming in, or some sort of predatory cat coming in to kill the eagle. And then the comment is, this eagle is so lame. Why would it land and look the other way? The eagle's a complete fucking loser because it's landed and it's not looking the other way. The comment underneath it is, the eagle's a loser. You're a boy talking to an eagle on an internet site. And I think that kind of sums it up. But anyway, back to the actual thing.
There is one other. There's a comment I made about another costume, but it's not in one of these porn parodies. Something that Danny Graydon has mentioned, and I've noticed also on the front cover of Empire magazine,
which is
the Superman costume for the new movie.
Yes.
Now, in a lot of shots we've seen, the Superman costume is very dark. It's very toned down.
Yes.
But if you look at the merchandise,
it's all very bright.
It's all very bright. And also, if you look at the front cover of Empire, his suit is shiny metallic blue, which is brighter than what I've seen.
See, yeah, but then, let's not discount the fact that bloody you got Zack Snyder doing it. Now, say what you like about him, but he's not adverse to putting a bit of digital polish over the top of anything. And the one thing that gets me with Danny's comments and everyone else and everyone going, oh, it looks really dark. Yeah, but if you make it black and white, you know what it is? They're chromatically quite distant if you make them black and white. In other words, you can make masks and put them through visual effects. So you could actually do whatever you fucking like to that costume. If you do it in red and blue like that, in bright, then you've got no control over it. If you make it in those two tones, which can actually be separated out quite easily, then you can actually do whatever you like to it after the event. I think that suit is due to be post-processed up the wazoo, and you'll end up with it glowing fucking for all intents and purposes. I mean, it's very telling that you don't see any of Superman actually flying up close. You don't see any of him doing anything in his actual costume. Why?
You do.
Not in the teaser. You
do.
Yeah.
You see him standing there outside his Fortress of Solitude with the cloak billowing behind him, just about to take off. You see the hands go down on the ground.
Yeah.
You see all the ground start shaking, and he fucking takes off.
Yes, but you don't see the full suit. You don't see the full suit. I'm telling you.
I think that is possibly a bit far-fetched. I'm sorry, but it's just... Looking at the costume as it is, they've gone to too much trouble with that costume to want to start doing any... Why bother making so much of a fuss of it in the first place if you're going to fucking cover it with... In fact, why bother doing anything to it if you're going to do all this CG wizardry over the top of it like with fucking Green Lantern?
Well, if you're going to go that way, why did they bother building a massive sort of 30-foot long Mercedes car for Captain America and then promptly never move it anywhere?
Hold on. We're talking about the Superman suit in this film. Forget Captain America. We're talking about the subject.
I'm talking about the fact that Hollywood is very wasteful, and Hollywood will do a lot of stuff when they get a reaction that says and like, for example, so
you're saying about them backtracking over their decision to make it look like that?
I wouldn't be surprised if there's some poor visual effects bastard who's literally rotoscoping the whole sodding thing out.
Oh, well, then in that case, fine. If you're saying
I'm not saying it was like a deliberate... Well, actually, I am saying it was a deliberate plan, but I am quite willing to say, okay, they backtracked. It could be either way. But I also know for a fact that, you get stupid decisions like you seen that Red Dawn remake.
Yes. Well, I haven't seen it, but I've seen the trailers for it.
Well, when they were originally making it,
it
was going to be China who invade America. But then it turned out that China was actually investing quite heavily in the company that was making the film. So then they literally paid extra to have someone digitally change all the flags from the Chinese flag to the North Korean flag. And to cut out scenes where they say China and actually have additional dialogue recorded over the top of, like, establishing shots saying, it's the Koreans, the North Koreans. Right. So, but every single shot in the film got completely redone.
Well, China would be a more believable enemy to accomplish what it is.
Not if they're paying for the making of your film.
Well, no, but...
So when you say, oh, I don't believe they put so much effort into making a suit.
If you're saying it's a post-production backtrack, then that's fine.
Imagine it's
all right. Yeah, fine, fair enough. But I don't think personally that was the plan from the onset. I thought somebody thought, hey, look at this cool design we've made. Let's make it a little bit darker because we need it to be a bit darker because, dark and gritty, Oscar.
Well, we'll see, won't we? When was it? Superman's out in June?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, not that it's really going to make that much of a difference to whether I enjoy the film or not. I just think that the bright colours of the suit work a lot better with the... I think it looks a lot better like that, being a brighter...
Well, he's supposed to be bright, but, you know...
Indeed. It's the whole thing with the character. It's like hope, and this is it, a beacon in the darkness, that sort of thing.
And all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But
yeah, as, you know, it's not going to... It's not a deal breaker.
No.
But it is just interesting to see that on the front cover of...
I think it was Total Film rather than Empire, because Empire's got Iron Man on the front.
Yeah, because it's got the picture of Superman standing behind Lois Lane. They're both looking off, sort of like into the distance.
Middle distance, yeah.
Yeah. So,
but that's the thing. If it's looking brighter and blue and bright red, like I say,
it's the blue of the suit is looking cleaner. It looks
more vivid.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I don't know.
It's metallic in the actual...
it would not surprise me. It would not surprise me to discover that whole suit being CG polished up was a plan from the start. It wouldn't surprise me at all, given how much they work on those things, and given how much, like I say, you look at like Watchmen or something like that, and you know, let's be honest, you know, fucking Rorschach's mask, every single frame that's changing from one thing to another.
That's understandable, seeing as the fact that, you know, there's no way you could possibly get that without having the CG on there.
Yeah, or the Silk Spectre's chiffon bit over the top. That's all CG. It's all done to make it move and act like it does.
I think personally, though, I don't think it's going to be a plan from the beginning to make it like that, because why put all that extra expense on top of when you could just make a suit that's that colour? So
it's
a CG backtrack, I can take, plan from the start.
Well, we don't know because we haven't seen the film, but what I would say is, if it was me, if you were planning it from the start, it would be because you can control how it looks, how it moves, what it does. I mean, you know, say what you like about Green Lantern and Ryan Reynolds' big floaty head, but the fact of the matter is, you know, even if you look at something as shitty as Spawn, and we've got to do that at some point.
Yes.
But, you know, the idea of the suit being as part of the character and somehow, you know, giving you sort of visual clues, you know, just turning the contrast up on it for a particular shot where you can't do lighting in a certain way. I mean, you know, you're going to light him up. You want to make him all glowy and blue and looking fucking hopeful and everything. And if you do that, then you've got to put 1,000 lights all around him to make him reflective, and that would make the rest of the scene washed out. Well, you either shoot him separately, or you do something to the suit, or you motion track the suit, or you do something to it, color correct it, you grade it in flame or something, and you do something to bring it up. But you've got to have a suit that's got to be capable of doing that. You've got to have something that's tonally quite different from itself, so the red stands out from the blue or the dark area. If you make those two, red and blue, black and white, in sort of Superman terms, you know, the bright blue and the bright red, they should become, in theory, a reasonably similar shade of grey. In that one that Zack Snyder's got, that red would stand out quite bold from, well, if you turn it black and white, that would become like a mid-grey, and the blue on the suit would go almost black, and it would be easy to pick that stuff out. I'm just saying, that's just how I look at it. I just think it would, you know, it could be an actual conscious decision. Plus, as much as anything, fucking the amount of people who keep looking at this stuff and, you know, trying to determine everything that's going on with it, what's to say it isn't a deliberate thing? What's to say that the black suit that we've been seeing out and around isn't a completely sort of red herring? Oh, look, there he is in his dark suit. Everyone goes, "Meh." Meanwhile, over here, we're actually filming him in this suit. I mean, you know,
I would love that to be the case. I think it would. I think it would just make him seem just that little bit more of, you know, a little bit more Superman than what he's wearing at the moment, because it's kind of a bit of a. It's such an iconic outfit. Yeah. To change it so, and it is quite a drastic change.
Yeah, but also let's be honest. You know, I I'm speaking not as a Superman fan, to be honest, but I would say that Superman purists can be quite obsessive about even the fucking shade of red, so maybe it's just to get away from that. I mean, fucking hell, Superman Returns, when the first promo still of Brandon Routh appeared, it's like everyone's going, oh, he's got slightly darker red shoes and he's got slightly darker red pants, and look at the colour of that costume. It's like, fucking that noise, that's going to just distract you. I don't know. I mean, anyway, we don't know, I guess is probably what I'm saying, but I'm just saying that also the colour might be the least of your problems. Worry about the character. If they get the character right,
no, that's what I'm saying. The colour, the whole thing with the suit isn't a deal breaker for me. It's just like something I've noticed, and it's a shame. I think that they've gone the way they've gone, but as I say, it's not gonna stop me from enjoying the movie. Or not. Or not. But there's been a lot of good write-ups, so we'll see.
Yep, we'll see. Okay, well, there you go. That kind of rolled on longer than we expected.
Exactly.
That was quite cool. There you go. Just when we thought there was not enough news or anything to talk about in this section. There you go.
We had a hole, we filled it.
Always.
It's kind of appropriate, really, with the whole porn thing. So.
Yeah, and if you want to see that picture of Wonder Woman and a helpfully supplied Batman one as well, comparison, go to the Facebook group, which is facebook.com/groups/the Blackdog Podcast. We'd love to have you on there.
Yes.
Right. Anyway, so I guess it's time for Jim Moon's Profanisaurus.
Waving a sausage in the Albert Hall. Euphemism. For those disappointing sexual liaisons, where the gentleman's gentleman is just too small and ends up lost in the lady garden. Alternatively, it's to see a deeply, deeply unsatisfying film that was directed by a massive cunt.
Brilliant. So, Michael Bay, take heed.
Of course, that does raise the question of, Lee, have you seen this movie?
Oh!
So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this section of the show where I pay Lee back for all of those shitty superheroes that he made me listen to. So, this week, our suggestion comes from Neil Shepherd. Oh, Commander Shepherd.
Nice, thanks. And, this is only going to be. This is only going to go
well.
There's
going to be pain in this one, don't you?
Yes, go on.
Of course there is. So, Neil would like a one-sentence review of Digital Man.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
You have 30 seconds on the clock. Go!
It's a Digital Man.
I'm not sure if you want to go to that part of your memory. Maybe you've blocked it out.
It's only been a fucking second week of this fucking fucking thing, and I'm really sick of it. Digital Man, one sentence review. Okay. Part man, part machine, all cunt. There you go. Success.
See, you got through it. No problem.
Right, okay. So, thank you very much for that, Neil. I needed that like a hole in the balls.
Yeah, send us some more ones like that, wouldn't you, Neil?
No.
Payback.
So, if anyone else has any more films that they'd like a one-sentence review from me that Darren has to inflict upon me, then send it on through to blackdog@geekplanetonline.com. And do remember to put down that it is a one-sentence review for Darren's eyes only, because otherwise I'll look at it and I'll get a drop on it, and
it
won't be as fun
for
everyone else except me.
Just a tip as well, if you could fill the first couple of lines of that mail with something that's not the actual title of the film, because then it won't show up in the preview on Outlook.
I don't have a preview on that.
Well, on that you do, on the
iPad.
On the iPad,
Okay.
so it's just in case you see it, that's all.
Okay, that's fair
Even
enough.
if you put just 2 lines of asterisks or something like that.
Oh, God. Okay, that's going to be terrifying now. Every time I see two lines of asterisks.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
You get a psychologically...
Psychoglugging.
Yeah, psychologically...
We're back to
linked
Wonder
that
Woman.
Bane.
Back to One Woman.
It's
Wonder
going to be
Woman,
like
Triple X.
conditioning. Oh, this could actually work in my favour.
What's that?
Every time you displease me, I'll just hold up the picture of an asterisk. You're don't beat me.
No. Yes,
But master, you promised to fix my back.
Back, you fool. Right, okay. Well, there you go. Thank you for that. So, like I say, send them into Geek Planet on Blackdog at Geek Planet Online, and Darren will inflict them upon me at some point in time.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Well, now it's time to move on to our new section. Dun,
course.
dun, dun, which is just like the other old sections, but we've just got a different jingle.
Hey!
Roll it.
Ooh, we're watching a new movie we've never seen before. I'm buttering my nipples and waxing my ass. Roll up the Mystery Monocle film. Roll up for the Mystery Monocle film. Roll up
Masturbation.
for the Mystery Monocle film. Roll up for the Mystery Monocle film. The Mystery Monocle film is waiting for us to hit play. Going to watch it today. What will we say? Hey Pablo, I need a heroin needle and a watermelon.
Right, okay, so, God bless America, huh?
God bless his little cotton socks.
Bless its little cotton socks. Let's just be clear, neither of us had seen this film before this point.
No,
Have you
not
seen
at
any
all.
trailers or anything?
I've seen trailers, which brought my attention to it, and it's
Okay.
just the subject matter of basically,
Okay.
well, today's society and...
Okie dokie. Well, I'll just skip lightly through the wiki because there isn't an awful lot to it.
Okay.
It's directed by Bobcat Goldthwate, who you may remember as the extremely loud
Bono from U2.
No,
That's what he always reminded me of in that Police Academy
in the
films.
Police Academy films. Yeah,
Yeah.
It was written by Bobcat Goldthwate. It stars Joel Murray. That's Bill's.
Oh, is it? Oh,
Tara Lynn Barr, Mackenzie Brooks Smith, Melinda Page Hamilton. It was released on September the 11th, 2011, and had a box office of $231,000.
is that it?
That's all it made. That's all she wrote. The only other piece of information is that it screened at the Toronto International Film Festival, South by Southwest, and Maryland Film Festival as well. It gained 88 reviews and got a positive review of 67% by Rotten Tomatoes. That is all she wrote. If I go to some trivia on IMDb, the box office, yeah, it didn't make an awful lot. Where's my trivia? Oh, and the only bit of trivia is the book that Frank lends the receptionist, briefly, is Pride and Prejudice and Zombies by Jane Austen and Seth Graham Smith. And the reason it was picked because it was had a cover by America's Got Talent semi-finalist Doogie Horner. That was the only reason it was included.
Is that it?
That's the only reason it was included. That's
right.
all the trivia we have.
Oh,
so,
dear.
There you go.
Okay.
Quite light on light on everything. I don't think it's been released over here.
No, it got released on... because all I could seem to see in the shops for it is the fact that it's on DVD.
Sale.
It's
Yeah.
not, I couldn't even find it on Blu-ray.
Straight to DVD.
Yeah.
So there you go. So, well, without any further ado, what did you think of it, Dal?
I have to say, it's a film that kind of speaks to me personally, because I know what I'm like in those wee hours in the morning when I'm thinking about life in general and how society is going.
Okay.
And I know what I mumble under my breath when I just look at things that go on today.
Oh, yes.
And there's an awful lot of stuff that the character comes out with. There's an awful lot of those lines that kind of I'm sitting there nodding my head to.
Yeah.
And just... So apart from the shooting the baby thing, the whole thing about his neighbours could have been me talking about my neighbours.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly how I feel about it. So, yeah, the fact that they've got this sort of like overdeveloped sense of self-importance.
Yes.
How it's like they can do what they like, but go fuck yourself if you turn around and tell them to maybe even politely. They laugh at you. You know, it's that... I don't know. It just
ignorance of self-confidence.
Yeah, it's that whole thing of how, you know, I can do what I like, but if you do what you like and it upsets me, then that's it. That's a bad thing. That's kind of my gripe.
Yes.
With society.
Yes.
And there's other things in this that they kind of address. Laura, when I asked her what she thought of this, she said she thought it was a bit preachy. And I can see that in this film. You know, I can see where some of it would come across as preachy. But there were just some of the lines that came across in those sections where those two characters had those standout moments where they make that speech of some kind. That,
yeah,
it's like you kind of hit the nail on the head with quite a bit of this. You know, it's from my point of view anyway. I mean, it's a bit in the extreme. You know, I wouldn't suggest going out and fucking gunning quite a few of these people down. And
oh well, I wouldn't be too hasty.
No,
about
exactly.
That,
It's like, you know, you sit there. I must admit, I sat there kind of just nodding my head. So like, yep.
This is going to be the film that they're going to find when the SWAT teams break into your house after you've been up a bell tower and taken your own life.
That's right, they will. Now, you know, you can see where it goes. I know it's an extreme film anyway, with, you know, the way Frank goes off and does what he does.
Yeah.
Right? But, of course, you've got the more extreme view of Roxy, who is almost completely out of control.
Yeah.
With her lust for violence. And where you think that maybe she's a special individual who kind of sees this, and when she talks about how she was treated by her parents, you're like, well, you can see where this is coming from. But then, by the end of the film, when she comes out and you find out about her parents, Frank finds out about her parents, what they're really like.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, you are just like the girl he gunned down in the car.
Yeah.
Only you're a different side of that same coin.
Yeah.
In essence. You know, I'm bored. Give me something to do.
Yeah, and not only that, but constantly looking for yourself in the newspapers after events. It's actually more about yourself and your self-centeredness than it is about any message or anything you're doing for any particular reason.
The only difference between her and that girl that got gunned down in the car is the fact that that girl hasn't gunned anybody down and won't gun anybody down, of course.
No.
You know, it's like she's got a weapon and the other girl hasn't. And as far as I'm concerned, that is basically the only difference. But saying that, I have to say, how the girl who's played the role of Roxy never got more recognition for that part, I don't know. Because I think she's an absolutely amazing actress.
Yeah.
There's just something about the way she plays that role. It's just way beyond the years she seems to be.
Yeah.
I don't know how old is she in this film?
I think she's supposed to be 20, isn't she? Or no, she's
less
in
than that.
school.
She's about
school.
16.
Yeah, she's supposed to be 16, isn't
15,
she?
16, something like that.
But she is 20, I think.
She's like 16 going on 30.
Yeah.
You know, it's just the way that I don't know, she's just the way she plays that role. The way she delivers those lines, the look in her eyes.
Yeah.
You know? There's something else going on there.
Yeah. I mean, it was really nicely done. I mean, all the performances were really good. But I mean, what did you think about the movie as itself? I mean, forgetting the message. Did you sit down and you watched it and were you entertained? Did you feel it was a good film, full stop, rather than just the message?
Up to a point, it was. I think what happened was it seemed to. I don't know if "lose its way" is the right term for it, because I think the whole thing about her parents being actually quite upstanding, you know, actually not bad people at all. It kind of suddenly, and with him finding out he's got no brain tumour, it kind of it takes away two major elements for why they're doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
And suddenly Frank goes on television and does what he does with the rifle. It's like, to me, it seems there is no reason for him to go and do what he does.
No.
At the end of the film where he raids the studio.
Yeah, fair enough.
Because, you know, you've been given a death sentence and then you realise, somebody tells you that, hold on, no, that's not the case, you're fine, you're free to go.
Yeah.
Your original, I know I'm like that anyway. If I'm get told some bad news about something and it puts me in a really bad place and I go off and I'm nasty to people, whatever, I hear that I'm not actually condemned to to suffer whatever it is I've been told. I'm suddenly a different person.
Yeah.
You know, the mood will lighten, and
just don't go to the doctors before we watch Harold the Duck. Okay?
No, I won't.
I just don't want to die.
I won't.
But anyway, go on, carry on, mate. Sorry.
I mean, I have to wonder what it says about me as a person for a kind of agreeing with some of the stuff that goes on in it. I must admit, I did have I kind of thought about this afterwards because I think my rage at that kind of thing for the up until a certain part of that movie kind of burnt itself out for me.
Yeah.
You know, and I started not feeling, oh yeah, damn right, you got it there, brother.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
suddenly
it's like holding a mirror up. It was like holding a mirror up to me, and taking a good long look at myself there for a moment.
Yeah. But that's the thing, isn't it? That film, to a certain degree, is like the Daily Mail rage fantasy. There was just like, we don't like these people, we don't like those people, we don't like those people, let's go and shoot them, because that's, and you're in a consequence-free world, because they never get chased by the police.
Because society works for them, basically. The whole setup of the society there kind of helps them along.
Yeah.
Because there's they don't, as he says there, society doesn't want to believe that, there's just these two people that are pissed off with everything.
Yeah.
Or this person that's pissed off with everything.
Yeah.
Wants to go put it all right.
It's the conspiracy theory.
They have
thing,
to give it something bigger.
That's the media just blowing up, isn't it? It's like, because that's that whole thing when they go on the tour around the states, and it's like suddenly it's not that people just disagree with this guy's politics. It's an Obama death squad or something, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly, stuff like that. Another thing as well. I know that the society that they portray in it is supposed to be a parody of what is going on now, but it's only 2 inches to the left of what is going on there, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I think it's
there's an awful lot of mainstream society that puts an awful lot of value in celebrity and that sort of thing, and that's what I feel anyway.
But that's the thing. It was like a concentrated dose of everything that's wrong with the world. I mean, it's like, you had the Westboro Baptist Church, God hates fags kind of thing, and then you had the Then you had the sort of Glenn Becker like, didn't you?
That was that was too much of a. I don't know. I think the guy played it too much over the top. It kind of took you out.
Have you seen Glenn Beck?
No, it's I don't know. There was a bit too much of a comedy element to that character. This is the thing. It kind of took me out of. You know, it was almost Glenn Beck, but it was just like, I don't know. It's like watching a supposed found footage film and somebody's actually acting rather than just reacting to something. It's that kind of thing.
There's a fake.
Yeah, it just came across as too much of a, winking at the screen type thing.
Yeah.
I think it's a phrase you've used before.
Yeah, it's that nod and the wink, isn't it? It's too knowing. It's on the nose.
Yeah, it's too much of a parody. It was more of a parody than the rest of the actual film. The rest of the film was like, sometimes a parody would be quite subtle, and that guy was extremely like, "Hello, look at me, I'm taking the piss." It just, I don't know. It was just too over the top,
too obvious.
Yeah, too obvious. He wasn't playing it like everyone else did in that film. It's like even the Next Door Neighbours.
Yeah.
When they do that bit where he marches in the dream sequence and fucking guns them all down. Even the bloke in the chair wasn't playing it like that. I mean, I did like some of the lines that come out about when they were talking about Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
His final line is, I hate the haters. So yeah, I mean, I'd say that most of the film worked for me. I did like the little speeches they make. I thought the girl though, her delivery was brilliant. When she starts getting serious and actually going in and putting a view across, the way she puts it across, whether I agree with it or not doesn't matter. It's the way she delivered those lines. Fantastic. I really, she was like, you're amazing actress, really good.
Yeah.
It was satisfying in ways that really, I suppose it shouldn't be for me.
Well, I don't know. I think it was deliberately pressing those buttons. That's the thing. It's one of those things.
It knew what buttons to press with me anyway. So it's like,
but it's what buttons. The reason it works in that respect is it's pushing everyone's buttons. How many? We're sitting here, right? I'm in a semi-detached house, and yet we can still hear the only wall that's connected to another family we can hear coming through the wall.
Yeah.
It's not. It's not any sort of unique problem. It's like, and I sit there, and as soon as people start getting excited about Big Brother or X Factor or any of that sort of shit, you just immediately you're like rolling your eyes, going, "Oh, for fuck's sake!" And it was button pushing, and that's fine. I mean, I for my money, I thought the message it was getting across was a bit lost, because it goes off on this kind of like, a man's frustration at the world and the modern day sort of take on celebrity and the hatred of, this fake, me kind of culture. And that's cool, this sort of self-centered, horrible, terrible fucking, entitlement. And it's like, yeah, fine. And, the fear-spewing sort of like, rhetoric from supposedly news sources and all that kind of stuff. I thought that was all great. That was all on the money. That was all sort of making the nods. But then it actually turns out, turns around and says, the reason why you're doing this to the Glenn Beck character, he turns around and goes, the reason I'm doing it is, why are you just so nasty to people? And it's like, it kind of deflates everything, because all of a sudden he's not doing it for any kind of purpose. It's just you bring into question that actually he may actually be a psychopath, because he goes from, I'm doing this because I'm fed up with the world, to I'm doing this because you're not very polite. It's like, yeah, you're getting a kind of a little bit extreme. And when they're sitting there on that bed and they're trying to pick out who to pick on, and it just starts to kind of, and the target starts to wander, and it's like, you're not focusing on celebrity now. You're not focusing on, big media and corporate culture and all this kind of thing, and Joe Public cinema. You're talking about just anything, and it's like, it suddenly goes from like this needle fucking point laser sort of like stab at modern day society to suddenly the film equivalent of an old man sitting on a sort of like porch going, and you know another thing I hate? Ants.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, and you know another thing I hate?
Spam.
Yeah. And you know what? Wagon wheels were never the same size when I was younger. You know, it's that kind of thing. It's sort of like it doesn't know where to go. And the reason is, I think what happens is that it sets its targets out quite early. And then all of a sudden it's like, okay, well, we all know where it's going to go. The Westboro Baptist Church is going to end up fucking dead in some fashion, and we know that something's going to happen with American Superstars or whatever they called it. You know, and then we also know that that anyone involved with kind of reality TV is going to cop it in the face, and that Glenn Beck character. Well, that's fine. You know, we're going to do that, but that's 4 events. Now, what are we going to do? Well, let's fill it with a montage, and let's just have him kill random people. And suddenly it starts off with like, okay, we're going to go extreme. Yeah, I'm going to shoot a guy for double parking. We're going to shoot a guy for this and shoot a guy for that. And
I have to say, I can imagine there's an awful lot of people that have thought about doing what he did in the cinema.
Yeah. But again,
I have. But
yeah, exactly. Fucking hell, yeah. I mean, I damn near got in a fight over fucking watching Ocean's 11 of all things. But the thing is, it's like, it's just like it focuses. It kind of loses its way from suddenly having a go at everything to suddenly just going, wouldn't it be great to just drive around shooting people? And it kind of stops being a critique on the world. It starts becoming let's do Bonnie and Clyde, let's do Natural Born Killers, let's do that kind of yay, drive around celebrity killing everyone, woo. And as soon as it does that, it kind of meanders a bit.
That's about I think it's about midway
through.
So sort of like 2/3 of the way through when it starts doing that.
Yeah, because when it starts off, and he's like dreaming about killing the people next door, and then he does that sort of thing of sitting in work, and there's this guy going, oh yeah, didn't you see this? Oh, you don't like free speech and all this kind of thing. And it's like, right,
what, you think you're too good for this program? Yeah, I do actually.
Yes, actually I do. Because I tell you what, I've had those conversations. I've had those sitting there conversations, and when it was doing that, it was like you could see this was the stuff that really mattered to Goldthwate when he was writing it. You could see that was the kernel of the whole thing. Someone sitting there in a cubicle with a fucking idiot behind you, talking shit at you, which you've already seen or spoken about, 3 months ago. Yet now it's finally appeared in modern culture, and suddenly now it becomes relevant. And it's just like you feel like it's the old thing I keep saying. It's the Will Ferrell thing from fucking Zoolander. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills, because you feel like you're sitting there going, God Almighty, what the fuck am I talking about? There used to be a guy who sat beside me, and you'd be talking to him, and he'd just come out with something. You think, are you being serious? Are you genuinely being serious? That and then they start moving the goalposts because you start trying to pin them down on an opinion that they don't really have. And I've got to say, when it was all that stuff, and it was preachy, there's no doubt about that. I think Laura's absolutely right. It was very preachy, but when he was doing that stuff, it felt like that was honest. That was really kind of what the story was about. Then when it turns into just a random gun rampage,
yeah,
it's funny, but then you start to wonder not where it's going to end, but where the line's drawn. As soon as you lose that sort of goal, his actions suddenly go a bit wonky, and everything goes a bit wonky. Especially when he kills that guy with the truck, you strangling him with the phone. And it's like, really, what was his crime? He alluded to the fact that he's got another girlfriend, or he's got a young girl, sort of teenage princess cousin floating about, or he's got a few of them on the road that he goes to. But he never really does anything wrong. He's talking shit. And so when Frank loses his rag, he just goes off and randomly kills this guy.
Well, he did it so he could get the vehicle, because it was
But again, it suddenly turns Frank from being like, messenger of common sense, angel of death, to suddenly, you're just a random killer now. You've suddenly the plot kind of goes and kind of loses its way a bit.
Something else I thought was a little bit jarring and didn't need to be in there, because you could quite easily have had him just going off and doing all this shit without having to get fired, and that was the woman on reception, because you see it when they're at the beginning. There's like this general thing, the way they look at one another, the way she looks at him is not the look of a woman who's kind of creeped out.
No.
By to me, that's not what is said. That doesn't look like a person who's creeped out by someone sending them some flowers to their home address.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, that you can argue that. I mean, that's corporate bollocks for you. I mean, that's what I'm saying. That's the kind of shit I'd be putting up with. Not that I'd send flowers to anyone's home, but it's like, it's that whole thing of suddenly mysterious rules coming out of the wallpaper just so that the boss can feel important, and then when you basically pull them up on it, they go, oh, it's not me, it's the upper-ups. That kind of little man syndrome that you occasionally get from people who sort of like feel that they need to be important, so they have to just enforce a little rule on you. Go, right, okay, show me where that rule's written. Oh, well, it's not really me, it's coming from upstairs. Okay, so basically when the chips are down and you actually have to do something, you back off, and you blame someone else, and it's that blame culture thing. But all of that stuff, that was fine. I didn't have a problem with that. And in fact, as far as the film goes, I found the first third I found really good. And probably the last 10 minutes really good, when he actually has to come out onto the stage of American Superstar or whatever it is. And then it turns out the kid who committed suicide.
Yeah, that whole thing at the end.
Actually, I didn't commit suicide because people were laughing at me. I committed suicide because I thought I wasn't going to be on telly anymore. And it's like, that's a great little moment, because that's suddenly like, not only people are not being exploited because they're too fucking thick to be exploited. They're just fucking cattle that just wander in and think, oh, someone's paying attention to me, and then feel bad when they're not. And it's just, all of that bit was brilliant, because that's at the heart of it. That's that kind of like, where's celebrity start? Where's it end? What the fuck's going on, And just this crazy world that's built up. But then, like I say, the bit in the middle, the sort of, I would say from that montage onwards, it all goes a bit south. When they do that whole thing of trying to kill the Glenn Beck character in Central Park. And it all just goes, it's either a little too on the nose, or it hasn't got any focus at all. And it just kind of, from that point of view, it almost feels like it should have been a 45-minute TV special.
I would prefer it to have been that, and ending with him either being gunned down by a load of police, or him actually getting on a boat and fucking off to France. With the girl, and then just them two just sailing off into the distance.
Yeah, because that's the thing. There's films like Network. Have you seen that?
No, I know of it though.
Well, basically, it's a journalist who pretty much goes fucking crazy on the air. And he sort of does this whole, I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore. And it's that whole thing, he's sort of railing against culture and everything else. And he's doing everything that Frank does. But in Network, it goes that little bit further. And in fact, it's an older film, and it's probably more relevant now than ever before, because what happens is the TV company, rather than firing him or carting him off, actually go, we'll have him on every week now. In fact, we won't put him on the news desk. We'll have an editorial with him ranting and raving into the camera, because you know what? People love it. And, and to be quite honest, God bless America should have done that. They could have ended with that, with him actually doing all this stuff, killing all these people, becoming a national hero, and then being almost trapped in this world of everything he was doing is now made him the celebrity in reality television that he was hating in the first place. That would have been a bit more, taking it a bit further, but that's the problem. I don't think it went dark enough, and I don't think it followed its own rules for a lot of the film. It kind of just wandered off. I'm not saying it's a bad film. I did find myself laughing at a couple of things. And I did find myself doing what you did, sitting there going, yeah, fucking kids, get off my lawn kind of thing. It's like goddamn parking over my fucking drive, all those kind of things. But then, as you say, you do that moment of long, hard look in the mirror and going, what the fuck am I actually moaning about? What the fuck is this really matter? And how sensible is that?
It's that whole thing of, you know what I thought to myself with that? It's like, I think I'd rather just get up and leave rather than go on this spree shooting and exacting revenge on people, or,
Well, there are. I mean, like I say,
I think I'd rather just take myself out of the frame and go somewhere far away.
Well, no, I mean, I think I agree with the whole thing. I mean, if I was really going to follow through some of my angry feelings, I mean, yeah, I should be up at fucking Bell Towers taking the pot shots at fucking, Peter Andre walks past and I'd run him over 17 times just to make sure that I'd got him. That sort of thing. Yeah, I'd take Katie Price and throw her off a cliff. But, that's me. I feel like, that celebrity and, all that kind of stuff and shallowness of media is something that's very angry, and it's society is going down the toilet in that respect. But
can I just say, by the way, I read, because I don't really read newspapers. I mean, I'll get my news off the internet and stuff like that.
There aren't newspapers anymore.
There aren't. I went through a copy of the Daily Star, right?
Oh,
okay.
Right.
Which is last week.
Do you want a hand scrub?
Yeah, I need it. But I picked it up.
Yeah.
And there were 5 news pieces in the entire 40 pages. The rest of it was all about which celebrity was doing which celebrity, or what clothes they were wearing, or, just all these first world fucking problems. That's it, just there, right there in that newspaper. That just shows you.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's that that's at the heart of it. That's what that film is about. It's about this fucking ridiculously shallow culture that we now live in. But that's the problem. It didn't have the courage of its convictions. It didn't follow that sort of line through. It kind of got a bit into, let's make a road movie with guns now and shoot a few people who almost deserve it, and then we've run out of legitimate targets, so we will pick on guys who double park, because no one in the world fucking double parks like that. And that sort of thing. It's just like it starts to get a bit, okay, now we're just picking on randoms. But the Westboro Baptist Church, for example, fucking run them over and set them on fire and just kick them over a cliff. And, that's fine. This is truly God's country. Throw them over the cliff. I mean, that's fine. I mean, all that kind of stuff. And like I say, for the record, in case anyone is listening to this from some sort of official, agency.
MI5 have got the word detectors out.
I am not actually telling the truth that I'm going to go off and shoot people just like this.
We don't own any firearms.
No guns.
Exactly.
But even then, that's the other thing. It's like, what did you, what policies did you agree with? That guy. And he's like, less gun control.
Yeah.
It's like, again, it's just like, right, okay, so he's not even in that sort of category. It's like, you're actually a bit of a gun nut. Yeah, a bit right-wing gun nut anyway. It's just like, so it just kind of gets a bit muddy towards the end.
One thing I didn't like, another thing in it, one of the very few things, was the way, like his ex-wife. So she's going out with this policeman. And to me, I felt sorry for him, just because he was shacked up with this woman.
Yeah.
And this god-awful, hell-born child.
Yeah.
And it's basically fine. I can understand the girl, Roxy, going, are we going to kill him? Because she just seemed like she wants to kill everything anyway.
Yeah.
But it's his reaction about, no, I want him to suffer. And it's like, but why do you want him to suffer? He's not done so wrong. He's come up to you and he said to you, would you like to come and see the girls? Come along, come and say hello. He's not like being a instructor or anything. He's actually encouraging you to come and see your daughter, no matter how much of a little shit she is. He's not trying to block you out. He's actually trying to be really nice to you and accepting. And that.
Yeah, but then you don't know the circumstances of why they broke up and all that kind of thing. He could have,
I suppose so, but it's still... I don't know. I didn't think he deserved that contempt from Frank.
Yeah, I mean, to be quite honest, of all the people in that film who didn't get their comeuppance that should have done, I think the Doctor would have been the one. Fucking Captain Malpractice. I mean, he was just like... I got someone else I got to give the bad news to, and by the way, you're not going to sue me, are you?
I've got some bad news for you. Your brain tumour's not real. And I'm thinking, okay, it's going to be a second whammy. It's going to say he's got like cancers, he's got like fucking lung cancer or something.
Unfortunately, you are in bed, and this is all a big dream.
So he's as Frank says. So where's the bad news? He says, I'm probably going to get sued by him. So that's good, bad news for you, mate, not for me.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what I'm saying. That's, going back to what I was saying about it not following it all the way through. It's like that guy would have been target A number one, wouldn't it? It would have just been like, back
it's amazing.
And fucking have him out.
He didn't actually go next door and shoot the neighbours. Because I would have thought they would have been... Yeah. They would have been a target.
Yeah, and and the Doctor, because he does that whole thing of like, I did like that though when he's talking about the moonroof on his car. That's in the way. You know what? I'm going to come and fuck you up the ass. I'm going to rip your cock off and stick it up your ass. Actually, I'm going to find that gorilla, that purple gorilla. I'm going to rip its cock off and stick it up your ass. Oh, now you're going to find me a room roof. That's good. Yeah, I mean, it's a great piece of dialogue, but it's like one of those things of like, if the Doctor was doing that to you, and let's be honest, you're in America, so you're paying for this.
Yeah.
And it's like, fuck that. Surely that's a come up and So that's the thing. It was like Frank didn't really sort of tackle some of the people who needed it, and then other times he did, and other times he was just a bit random. So he kind of lost its way. But overall, I thought the film was interesting. I thought it was well shot. I thought it was fun in places, and it was good. Would I watch it again? Probably not, because I found myself getting quite angry at the start and quite angry at the end, and not really feeling like it ever really concluded in a satisfactory way. So, what about you? Would you watch it again?
I would watch it again in my darker moments, I think. Because I do...
In your Pink Floyd The Wall moments. sitting there staring at the telly.
Seriously, I've come home, and not because of what's happened to me during the day, but because I've just sat there and thought about, I've just seen things like the newspapers, and it's like, look at the shit that they put in these pages.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like today. I mean, I actually went around to my parents and fucking hell, the newspapers they read, it's just like, I was reading something, I was just like, every page is like, be scared, be scared, be scared. It's just like, that's the kind of shit that does get me kind of going, for goodness sake.
Or you read about another football player. Football players, as far as I'm concerned, are possibly one of the worst celebrities. To me, they always seem miserable, and yet they've got everything, and they go off and they do whatever they fucking will please. That to me, they're one of the worst aspects of today's
exactly
celebratory centric
exactly, and that's what I'm saying. So when you have so many big targets like that, to have Frank suddenly start focusing on people who are running with iPads on or whatever the fuck. Well, he after the guy, because he was picking up people all around the country, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And so after the Westboro, then you had the double parking bloke. Then he picked someone else off, didn't he? I can't remember who they. Oh no, it was the guy. It was the guy just shouting outside of his hotel room, and he just stepped out and he went bang and popped him from the balcony.
Yeah, see, like, first she shoots and then he shoots, and then they just both stand there. And you see him suddenly raise the gun as if one's running away. And just pop.
Dump. That's
there
it.
We go.
There
That's
you
it.
go.
Got him.
Carry on. Yeah. Anyway, so there you go. So, okay, not that we're normally one for scoring things, but what would you give this? Let's say out of 10.
I'd say possibly a 6.
Okay.
Because I think it it's not a terrible. I don't think it's a terrible film at all.
No.
As I say, I think there's some good stuff in there performance wise. Also, there's some of the lines, some of the actual speeches just had me just sitting there nodding my head.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, some of it's very astute, some of it's a bit meandering, but I'd go along with that.
Yeah. So I'd say not a perfect film by any means at all. It's there's definitely a good film in there that is under the surface. A really, really good film under the surface.
Yeah. Well, like I say, I'd say to you, go and watch something like Network and see what you think of that. It's dated. I mean, it is a 70s movie, but see what you think of that. I'd be really interested to see what you think of that.
Well, I'll tell you one thing that I think does do that makes a really good comment on the sort of thing we've been talking about, and that is Charlie Brooker's Black Mirror.
Yeah.
I think every single one he's done has made a fucking good point. It's like it's a parody, but it's they're really
they
good
cut
parodies.
to the quick. Yeah,
they do. You know,
exactly.
Was it Many Things Said in Jest?
Ta-da!
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know,
or Waldo.
The Waldo thing, the 15,000 merits, that one about the whole X Factor. There's the...
But that's what I'm saying. Do you see that and you think 45 minutes, they get the story and the idea across, whereas this film took an hour and 3/4 and told its story,
White Bear, I would suggest... I can't even tell you what it's about, but
no.
Really, if you haven't seen White Bear... It's certainly one that challenges your views.
Yes,
that's all I'm going to say, and I can't tell you what views on what because that would be
in fact, if you do see White Bear, I would recommend heartily that you listen to the episode. Called,
I can listen to that now.
Yeah, the episode Black Mirrors, which is on Jim Moon's excellent Hypnobobs.
I've had to avoid it until actually watching it,
which stars myself, talking to Jim and Adele Thomas about Charlie Brooker and Black Mirror, specifically White Bear. There you go. Anyway, I think we've kind of rinsed it now. Our first Mystery Monocle.
But you've got to admit, this is the subject matter of this film is very close to both of our hearts.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's not
both grumpy old cunts.
Yeah, we are grumpy old cunts, and maybe that's the title of the title of the episode. But the thing is, I just think you could have done all of that and more, and gone darker, and still had a really satisfying film.
Actually, I think this could have been a really good Dark Mirror episode had that been written by
Black
Charlie
Mirror,
Brooker or Black Mirror. I think he could have actually done that better.
Yeah, it would have just turned into a reality TV show and they become part of it, which is, natural born killers.
Yeah.
But there you go.
Indeed.
Right, okay, well, it's time to move on to some written feedback. So, what we'll do is we will start with Martin Thompson. Do you want to read this?
I'll go for it, yeah.
Okay,
that's fine.
You can read this.
So, yes, this is from Martin Thompson.
Mm-hmm.
And Martin Thompson writes,
Yes.
Dear chaps, while sailing a tea chest up the Medway, I came across a tiger floating on an old copy of the Radio Times. Together we set off on a grand series of adventures together. While busking in Romford, we were able to scrape together enough money with my rendition of The Sound of the Underground to enable me to watch this week's film on TV of a recently deceased milkman and an undercover rap star from Stoke Newington. I know where he's going with this.
What the Okay.
So then, this week's Mystery Monocle, or Virgin Visor, or whatever it is this week. You guys should really be sponsored by Specsavers, although perhaps not with Lee's reading skills.
That's why I gave it to Darren.
Ah, cheers, man. Anyway, God bless America. I haven't seen this one before, so I was a first timer too, and I really enjoyed this little indie rampage movie. We have our put upon hero. Wonderfully, he lives at 5337.5. Yeah, I like that as well.
Really?
Yeah, if you look at his door, it's 5337 and 5337.5.
All right.
With a shitty job and no reason to live, the mouthpiece for the state of the nation, and the only sane, decent man in the world, full of shallow idiots. Perhaps it's because Charlie Brooker has been back on TV recently, but this all felt really familiar. Yeah, I'd have to say. Oh, and a shocking way to get the film off to a start too with the poor baby. It's also no surprise that Roxy and Frank split up, that she's from a happy home, and that she shows up right at the end. Stephen Clark loving the attention is hardly a shocking twist, but his story was still a nice running thread through it. Of course, our heroes die in all the hail of bullets too. There are some great references to past Rampage movies like Bonnie and